energy and water, clean water, is a human right. This is literally a life and death situation. When I think about many of the residents I encounter in East Knoxville, particularly Black residents, we have, unfortunately, those instances where residents see the consequence. People are dying because of the lack of access to affordable utilities. Their medical equipment depends on having energy. I think about the young student at Austin East High School trying to do well in school, whose parents, because of barriers that they face, their lights aren't on. They have a tough time doing their homework. And I wish our elected officials really understood the urgency, understanding really the moral obligation to do what is right. I trust as an elected official that you have the same posture, the same understanding, the same awareness that in one of the richest nations in the world can understand how to be a good steward with the resources, and that is using the resources to uplift everybody and to do the work of justice. I am Calvin Taylor Skinner, a minister at Mount Zion Baptist Church, one of the Black historic churches in the community, founded 161 years ago out of First Baptist Church in Knoxville. A couple of years before the emancipation, the founders of that church knew and embraced their agency, and they did not allow even the laws of the land to tell them who they were, for they understood who they were, even as this nation did not validate them. And so these enslaved founders, that spirit still continues, as historically Mount Zion has placed the first Black mayor, the first Black woman elected official of the Knox County School Board. These are the particular political figures, and there's other activists that has come through Mount Zion. This is the torch that I carry as I think about the shoulders I stand on, that we are unapologetic about doing what's right, doing what's just. As a faith leader, a minister, I know that there is no separation between my faith work and justice work, that I take that call seriously. I'm also co-founder of One Knox Legacy Coalition, which is an organization to mobilize the community around the vote. Voter registration, voter education, voter mobilization is what we do. I'm also a part of the steering committee of Knoxville Water and Energy for All, which is an effort to address energy justice within our community. For this campaign to be successful, KUB First will recognize and embrace that water and energy is a human right. That regardless of the challenges and barriers people face paying their utilities, that KUB will harness all their resources to ensure people are not shut off. Their energy and their water is not shut off. One remedy that we are offering through KWEA is PIP, Percentage of Income Payment Plan, which caps what households pay towards their utility. So these are some of the remedies that we are hopeful KUB will embrace for long-term solutions. We're not so caught up in the short-term solutions. We want sustainable solutions, and this is what KWEA stands for. Energy justice means to me the ability to just not survive, but thrive. And when I think about, particularly within Black Knoxville, where many of those residents are having to choose between medicine and paying for the utilities, or paying their rent and paying for utilities. Unfortunately, there are many barriers that people in my community face that don't allow, especially around energy access and energy equity, that allow our residents to thrive. I live in Knoxville, Tennessee, and what I love about my community is our resilience, our way of creativity, and our culture. There's no city, no community, especially within East Knoxville, that does it better. I am appreciative that I have the opportunity to be in this region, to grow up in this region, and to proudly say that I'm Black Appalachian. There is a rich diversity within Appalachia. There's a rich heritage that spans across the spectrum. And one thing I do find is that there is common ground in the struggle, that as one community faces challenges, as we do the outreach and as we are intentional about connecting, that we will find that there is a common ground in and through the struggle. But through that connection, even when it's centered around particular struggles, the ability to gain strength, encouragement through these outreaches is helpful in carving out the solutions that are needed in our region, especially the coal region. Well, as there is a shift in the energy sector, when I think about even opportunities to raise up communities that have been in economic despair, that here is an opportunity to really stimulate the economy, especially within those communities that have been neglected. And so we should be mindful as, again, we're shifting from the coal industry to green and other energy, that we should understand what equity look like. We should be intentional to involve, especially those communities, those people who have been neglected. It really is inspiring, ultimately, to see the resiliency of the people in Appalachia, to recognize what this culture is able to do, what is able to, in terms of resources, take little and make much of it. The Knoxville that I see in 20 years looks like a community that is thriving. If somebody asks, what does energy justice look like? I want them to be able to look at East Tennessee, Knoxville in particular. I know when and if the necessary investment and celebration of this culture takes place, the sky is really the limit. And I am convinced, and I know that the solutions are with the people, given the opportunity, given the ability to step up in various ways, that as we allow the voices to be heard, as we are intentional to empower all people, especially those who have been marginalized, the solutions will come. And I am also convinced that we can truly see justice take place.